Before I actually demonstrate the forms going through the sequence and show you the actual techniques, okay, let's break it down, all the fundamental techniques first. Okay, in Silim Tao we have a stance, and we have some offensive techniques, and we have some defensive techniques. But in Wen Chun we don't call it defensive, okay, because your application in defense is to prepare you for offense. Because most of the defensive technique, there's a tactics we use behind it. That means the purpose is one we use to redirect, or we use to jam your opponents. So most of the defensive technique fall under those two categories. First technique is 二字拑羊馬. What it does, it's a stance that develops stability, balance, and it's a training stance for your internal energy. Okay, you know the knees and toes all point towards the center. It develops a very strong triangle and ability to shift the weight down. Okay, this is not an actual combat stance. We don't use your stance like this. Normally, this is for training for the first form. Second group of techniques dealing with offensive techniques. In Wen Chun, we have a punch, a palm, and a chop. Okay, first punch you learn within the Wen Chun is called Yat Ji Zhong Cui. Yat Ji Zhong Cui is the Chinese character sun. So in the Chinese character, it has 3 lines: 1, 2, 3. So it expresses the area that you are actually using to contact with. And why the punch we call it a vertical punch? Because this is the most natural and strong structure for a human to do a straight punch. Okay, the wrist straight, the elbows in. When the elbows in and wrist straight, you have the whole body behind it. We call it Yat Ji衝錘. So as strong as a hammer. Cui is like a hammer. Okay, first technique, Yat Ji衝錘. Second technique, we have a series of open hand strike. We have the 正掌 or 掂掌, means straight palm. Normally you use it for higher gates. Second one, you use it as a side palm for higher gates, or you use it side palm for lower gates. So you have almost like a plum flower shapes. The petal here, the petal here, the petal here, and petal here. So you have a straight palm, side and side palm, one high, one low. 正掌, 高橫掌, 低橫掌. So you have a punch and a palm, and also you have a chop. It's called 斬手. Chop horizontally, vertically. Okay? As you know, most of open hand technique, a chop is strong because you're using the bony area here. So those 3 techniques, the punch, the chop, and the palm, consist of our major introduction of hand strikes in the Silim Tao. Last series of technique is primarily used to redirect or to intercept your opponent's incoming technique, so you can effectively apply your own offense. First, 攤手. Okay, 攤 means to disperse. Okay, the wrist needs to be straight, because any type of bending of the wrist, you create excessive energy, and you could hurt yourself. Just like if you would not, I don't think anybody would punch this way. So 攤手, you want to able to use the whole forearm, use it effectively, you have a straight hand. Okay, 攤. The next you have a 圈手. 圈 in Chinese means circle. So it's redirection. Okay, later on in application, you will see all these techniques being applied. So 攤, 圈. Then you have a technique that's coming back in a form. Okay, normally you use it in conjunction with other techniques. We call this 武手. 武手 means to guard, to protect. Okay. Then last, you have a 覆手. Okay, means to subdue. Normally, it's a hand that covers whatever you need to cover to protect your space. So we say those are the main technique for section 1. So you have a 攤, 圈, 武, 覆, then 拍手. 拍 directly means to slap. Okay, you are engaging your opponent, slapping the hand away. Section 2, dealing with first, is called 撳手. Okay, it's a pressing hand going down. Okay, 撳手，撳手，撳手，撳手。Okay? Then you also have what we call 枕手. Okay, this is not really a chop. 枕 means rest. Okay, you are actually coming on top, resting upon your opponent's bridge. Then you have a 拮手. 拮 means to stop. Okay, it acts like a jerking motion. Then you have a 標手. Normally, 標手express the energy forward to intercept your opponent's incoming strikes. Third section, you have a technique called 間手. 間 is to make separate. Okay, so 間, you sweep across your lower gate. It's primarily a lower gate sweep to protect that space. The next, 綁手. Okay, now there are three major techniques of strikes. Defensively, there are three major techniques. It's actually called 攤, 綁, and 覆. So third section introduced the last of the three major techniques in realms of defensive hands. 綁手, okay, which allow you to redirect the incoming energy. What I have just demonstrated is individual techniques of Wing Chun from the Silim Tao. Now you have seen the stances, you have seen some technique for striking, as well as technique to intercept and redirecting. So you have three major groups of techniques. So let's go straight into the forms for you to see the proper sequence. Second section. Third section. Now you have seen the forms. I'd like to go through one more time, but this time actually explain about the techniques with the proper structures and also the names of each techniques. The opening, you put your hands up to the higher gate, open up, 二字拑羊馬. Put your hands in the lower gate, middle gate, to draw the center line. First technique, 日字衝錘. It's important that you maintain a straight wrist, elbows down. 攤手. In order to keep the energy flow, have everything straight, just like the punch with the straight wrist, elbow down. 圈手. Drawing back, we call 護手. 覆手. You repeat. Three times. After you come back last time, 護手, 拍手, 掂掌, palm strike to the high gate, 圈手, finish. Same thing other side. 攤手, 圈手, 護手, 覆手. Repeat two more times. 圈, 護, 覆. Last time. 拍手掂掌 That consists of section 1. Section 2, 撳手 長翹手 long bridge hand 發手扣手枕手攤窒標長翹手 Third section 拍手高橫掌 high side palm 拍手高橫掌攤手 bring it up to your high gate 間手攤手圈手低橫掌 low palm strike Same thing other side 綁攤托手綁手攤手托手穿手 You do 3 times then 3 punches 1 2 3 Now those 3 punches, each punch, you punch a half punch lower. So you go first punch, throw level, second punch, third punch, then you finish with a solar plex. Now that you are familiarized with the sequence of Zillium Tao, and went through some of the basic techniques named and understanding the proper forms. Next, I'd like to take you through what we call the purpose of a Zillium Tao form training. There's certain attributes you gotta have for Wing Chun. For example, first one, the technique, is opening of the horse. Okay, what this express? Its first attribute, you must learn to have stability, called balance. So throughout the form in Wing Chun, you develop a very strong rooted. For foundation is very important. Later on in Tum Kyu, you learn how to move properly. So first attribute is balance. So balance not just involve a physical sense, but also the balance of the mind, which means you must focus. And second is what we call relaxation. Okay, if you've done the form properly, the first section is done slow and relaxed. This first section is done with the intent of developing your qi, your hei, and correspond with the intent of generating energy into your bridge hand, qiu sao. So first section you are doing it actually slow. So you are developing and understand what is relaxation. So this becomes our approach. Everything we do first, slow, relax. So first section, you actually are doing much slower what I'm demonstrating. There's a story that Grandmaster Yip Mun, that for him to practice his Zillium Tao, it normally takes about 30 minutes to 45 minutes just to go through his first section of form, because it involves the Heigong, the Qi development, the vitality. Okay, and also if you look at this stance, this is very typical Qigong stance. So first section is developing balance, attributes, mental focus, and the intent to develop the energy throughout your arms. That's the only factor why that your wrists have to be straight, where the energy can flow through. So as you go through section 1, regular inhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Second section, same thing, relax, then let go of the energy. Relax, let go of the energy. As you can see, relax, let go of the energy. Okay, what this does is to train you how to release that energy that you have developed from section 1. Section 2, the rhythm is consistent 1, 2, 3. Throughout that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you maintain proper rhythms. Now, one important part of the Zillium Tao, as you know, as you can see, is to develop one technique at a time. Is to really isolate the body, to study the parts, so later on you can put the parts into whole again. For example, section 1 again, Tan Sao. Now as I turn the wrist, Hun Sao, rest of my body is maintained still, don't move. As I draw my hand back, Wu Sao, so nothing else moves, just the part. Pa Sao, Dim Zhang. So everything is to teach you how to understand the parts before you can put it into the hole. So attributes, what it develops is really your ability to use the techniques. Without the attributes such as balance, ability to relax, you cannot have speed and power later on when you get to the more advanced stuff. So Stadium Tau is a training method, but also contain the actual attribute that help you to develop your application later on. Next, I'm going to be discussing about the concept of Wing Chun. Now, concept is very important because we say Wing Chun is concept-based art. Okay, concept meaning that it's true regardless of techniques. Okay, now Wing Chun Stadium Tau means little idea from beginning. So what is that idea? The idea is the concept. So once you understand the concept, those become a guideline for you to train properly, as well as tactics and strategy for you to apply your Wing Chun in the application stage. So as I go through the section 1, 2, 3 again, I will point out the major concept of Stadium Tau. So opening again. Stadium Tau is always facing the same directions. We humans are symmetrical, 2 hands, 2 feet. So in combat situation, we want to be able to utilize both hands and both feet. So this concept we call facing. You want to be able to face your opponent properly. Okay? Second concept, as you can see, this motions up and down, punch go out. Where does it go? It's called the center line. So second concept is called the center line. Now center line is important because it develops awareness of the vital areas within your body, such as your center of gravity, okay, between the legs, your solar plexus, your throat, all along the center line. Okay, so for attack, it's very important to attack the center line. For defense, it's very important to protect our own. Because this is where the structure can be break down, where the center is. Third, you see, Wing Chun is straight. Straight is because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So it's efficient in the techniques. So first section is being guided by facing, straight line, and center line. Okay, so I will demonstrate that again. Facing, center line, center line. So all this technique goes to the center line. And it's a straight line techniques. As you can see, the hand goes out and comes back along the center line. Pass out, straight line again. So center, come back straight, go out straight. Straight and center. As you can see, 3 important concepts at the first section. Okay, one thing at a time, one technique at a time. Then by the time you get to second section, you start to see 2 hands work as one. That becomes our 4th major concept of the system. In Wing Chun, we want to be able to really develop the coordination. Okay, later on is 2 hands become one. Then later on is the whole body work as one. We call that body unity. Okay, as you see the section 2, 2 hands, 2 hands. So you can see all that concept being applied. Okay, when you go into the section 3, okay, now we need to mention about the gates. Now all the technique travels high, middle, and low. So we have what we call the 6 gates. Okay, so you have your high points, you have your middle points, and you have your low points. Okay, the points being divided by the center line, so you have the 6 gates. So you see, this is a high gate, high gate. High gate, high gate. Okay, middle gate, high gate, low gate. And back to middle gate, and then low gate again. So in application, once I explain through the application, you understand the gates. Because we have to be aware of the space around us. Okay. Last but not least, Wing Chun, a lot of people say, well, it's internal system or it's an external system. Well, as a complete combat system, it's both internal and external. Okay, it's both hard and soft. Now, hard and soft meaning that by having hard is that you utilize your own energy to crash to overcome the external energy, your opponents. Solve is not to fight with your opponent's energy, but it's rather to cooperate or to redirect with his energy. So in essence, Wing Chun is both hard and soft. So we have